Hello and welcome to Totally Tell Me, a weekly entertainment review podcast where we talk about movies, music, food, and fun. My name's Dominic Mercurio, and I'm here with Laura Weinbach.
Hello.
What's up, Laura?
Hi. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Am I?
All right. All right. Totally Tell Me, for those who are just tuning in maybe for the first time, we live stream now on Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook, where we currently are live right now. If you're watching this after the fact, of course, you could watch the next one, which is going to be in 2 weeks. Every 2 weeks, we go live, Sunday at 7 p.m. Our next episode is going to be on November 8th, 7 p.m. with Kendra McKinley. Very excited to have her on. And if you're watching right now, feel free to comment and leave us your mark, really, and we will read it and bring you into the conversation. Also, one quick little thing I just want to get...
What were we listening to on that intro? That was interesting.
Oh, yes, absolutely. That is the next thing I was going to get to,
so
Laura.
Fascinated, compelled, and I'm just simply mesmerized.
You really liked it, huh?
Mighta.
Oh, you were a fan? Okay. Well, it's actually a up-and-coming little band here called Foxtails Brigade. If you don't know Foxtails Brigade, well, the singer is Laura Weinbach.
Then you are an idiot, because this is the Foxtails Brigade podcast, basically.
Yeah, and if this is the Foxtails Brigade podcast, so look, get with the times. No, I drummed on that song as well. Sometimes, there are Foxtails Brigade tracks that I'm not on, but I am on that one, which is a nice little fun fact, I suppose you could say. But that song was Slave. It's a brand new song that we just released. Do you have anything that you wanted to add, Laura, really quick about it?
Yeah, I made it. We made it. We just made a music video for it at home last week, which was kind of fun. I don't know if you were aware of that, Dominic. Were you aware of that?
I heard you guys are making music. I haven't watched it yet, but
oh, that's okay. No, we weren't going to make one officially anytime soon. I would have loved to have done like a crazy video with you, Dominic, of course, but tough times are, what we're in right now. And so what we were going to do was we had a live stream for the Parlor Shifts show, which is the show Anton and I do every Monday night on our Facebook page. And we did a special one last Monday to introduce our new track Slave to our audiences. And I wanted to make the episode kind of special. So all I did was I was planning on just doing like a background change from our normal Parlor Shift background. And I was going to just kind of display some Foxtails Brigade artwork on the wall. And what was supposed to be just like a background change ended up being an all night, just like fun fest shooting a video. Stayed up till like 5 a.m. and just decided to, make a video. We busted out the smoke machine. We have some cool lights that we ended up using that I didn't expect were going to be that cool, but I felt like for what it is, it worked.
That's awesome.
It's like kind of cool. The lighting really worked. Yeah. And I don't know. It's a sort of fun little ditty. So check it out if you haven't seen it. The new video for Slave. It's out now. It is on the Foxtails Brigade Facebook page, but I will be doing a full blast, as they say, to all eyes and ears.
You're just gonna
tomorrow.
All right, blast it out. Okay, one quick last little thing, and then we're gonna introduce our guests. But this is, of course, an important week in our time. Something weird happened here. Oh, well, all right. I think something happened with. Nick, you're on. Hold on, I'm gonna actually introduce our guests because
I think they were muting their cameras and
we had a little mix up. Actually, Nikki, can you?
No, I'm gone.
Yeah, Laura, can you turn your camera off and then back on?
Me? Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You bet. Let me try.
Little technical difficulties for those watching currently.
This is a much more complex setup than you even know, people.
Yeah, you're about to find out. You're about to find out. They can absolutely hear you.
Okay.
All right.
Am I back?
Yes, you're back. All right. So one quick last little thing. This is a very important week in the United States, and that is voting season. So please, if you're watching and you have not voted, now is the time. Please vote, and please vote for Joe Biden. Do not vote for Donald Trump. In fact, don't even go to the polls. It's not worth it. You've had him for 4 years. I think it's time to let's just bring in some fresh blood, fresh young blood with Joe Biden, our 77-year-old. How old is he? No, but really, I am on the edge of my seat currently for the last 6 months, really, and I just urge everyone out there to go vote. iwillvote.com is a great place, a great resource. So please vote if you're in the United States. And without any further ado, let's introduce our guests. Our first time having 2 guests on for a video stream, a live stream. And today's guests are Max and Nicky Weinbach. You are up.
Hi.
Hello, guys.
Hello.
Do you care to say who is who so people just have a better sense of who is who?
Not really. I don't really care.
Okay, all right.
You don't care?
Yeah.
I'm just joking.
Well, you can actually see.
Wow.
Oh no, I guess
No, they
You're
can't.
gonna play the coy card.
I'm Max.
There we go.
I'm Nicky.
Max is over here, and that's Nicky.
Okay.
Max and Nicky, if you don't know them, are comedians and, well, really multi-talented artists of many different kinds. They're also musicians, and they are also Laura's brothers, twin brothers.
It's a real art to be her brother.
Yeah, that is one of the art forms.
It's an art to be my brother.
Hey, Max, you cut him off.
Go ahead,
Dominic.
Because he was using multifaceted.
Max, I know.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Dominic.
No. I want you to chime
Keep
in.
introducing us.
Yeah, you like that? You like that feeling of me introducing you? You're like, have it a little slower this time. No, I pretty much said everything that there is to
Nicky's
say.
like, get to me. I wanted you to say something.
He didn't say. Go ahead.
Yeah, you guys are doing live streams with your Vintage Basement show. Do you want to let people know where they could find that?
Sure.
If
every
they want
month, every third Tuesday of the month, we're doing a live stream comedy and music variety show with Dynasty Typewriter in Los Angeles. Of course, we're live streaming from New York City here, but
live from New York. It's the Weinbach twins.
You can find out about upcoming shows on maxandnicky.com or on our Instagram at maxandnicky or on Facebook, facebook.com/maxandnicky.
Or you can go to vintage. Or you can go to dynastytypewriter.com.
Nice.
Yeah,
we've got great guests all the time. In the past few months we've had Fred Armisen on. We've had Reggie Watts.
Reggie whatever.
Margaret Cho, Judah Friedlander.
DJ Real, who's also been on this show, has made an appearance or two.
DJ Real has made a couple. Actually, we just
did a live stream show
last night for the Oakland Comedy Festival.
Right. Yeah.
And DJ Real was on that.
DJ Real was on that. Yeah.
And so was Brent Weinbach.
Man, DJ Real's got this really cool. I mean, he's really taking advantage of like
medium,
the medium of Zoom for live streaming, for like live shows, and it's just so awesome looking what he does. It's really cool. I mean.
No,
in addition to it being really hilarious, it's just really cool looking, It's like really impressive,
Das ist true.
It kind of makes sense though for him because I feel like he has always kind of involved tech into his act. And so of course now when everyone is, I think, kind of scrambling to find ways to involve tech into their act because now you have to.
Right.
I mean, it kind of makes sense that of course now he would be really good at it. And he is.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Well, it's not because, he's obviously used a lot of sound as part of his act.
Yeah.
But now he has a lot of like visual stuff going on that's really neat.
Chris Flieger is watching, and he asked,
"What's up, Flieger?
Is Laura the only Weinbach at the table?" And I totally missed the opportunity to say that. You're right. Normally, I do introduce you guys as not the only Weinbachs at the table, but here we are, and the moment's passed, really. So we can't go backwards. Oh, and a couple people said they've already voted. My mom has tuned in. She has voted. Good thing.
Max and I have voted also.
We voted.
Yeah.
It was received. We were still registered in Los Angeles. I mean, we should be really registered in New York, but it was received by the registrar, which is good.
Isn't it? It's so easy in California to track your vote, or I mean your ballot.
Right.
I dropped off.
They should be telling people to track the vote, not rock the vote.
Track the vote in 2020. No,
you track. Instead
Laura,
of saying you rock, you could be like, dude, you totally track.
What's your voting status, Laura?
Not voted yet, but going to.
All right.
You know what? I'll tell you this much. Let me tell you something.
I can't believe you haven't voted yet.
You know why I haven't voted?
It's so easy.
Let me answer the question. Can I answer the question?
Proceed.
Okay.
It wasn't a question.
Let me explain why I have not voted yet. I haven't voted because I've been busy telling other people to vote. And also to find out who they're voting for. As a matter of cold hard fact, I did join the Dem Dialer volunteer hotline, with the DNC or whatever for Joe Biden, Kamala Harris campaign.
I'm not sick.
So what that entails,
the water.
I thought you were so sick. As in cool. No,
Laura, what you're eating, I really want right now.
I'll let you know about that in a second. So basically, what means is that I'm calling people, I'm cold calling people who are undecided voters in swing states and asking them if they've decided who they are going to vote yet. Vote for yet.
Cold hard fact, you're cold calling people.
And I got to tell you, it's been an experience.
Really?
You want to hear about like one or two calls?
Absolutely, yeah. All
right, one of them was like, I call these people, they're registered as like undecided or whatever. Or I think it was in maybe Arizona or something like that. And I call them up and I said, "Hi, I'm a volunteer and I'm just trying to find out if you decided who you're going to be voting for in the upcoming election." And they go, "I don't vote. I never have voted and I'm not going to vote. Do not call here again."
Oh shit.
Well,
oh my God.
Yeah.
Damn.
And that was interesting. I just thought, wow, they do not want to have a democracy.
No, they're not in. It's kind of crazy that you would feel that strongly to not vote in something like this election where it's just so...
Yeah. I mean, he was like adamantly interested in not voting. He's like, "I do not want to vote."
Not even like third party. He's just like, "I'm out. Count me out."
He's like, "I do not want to vote. I will not vote."
A couple more people said they voted too. Nicole Kyle, thank you for voting. Tori Young, thank you for voting. Adam Buccio.
And don't just vote for Biden, guys.
Yeah, I mean, look,
what else are you gonna do?
We're not. When I say vote, I really do not mean vote for Trump.
Don't
just
be a
don't.
Fool.
Yeah.
Thank you for your vote and thank you for your service.
Yeah, honestly, thank you guys. Please, and tell your friends too, especially if they live outside California. Like, you should still vote in California.
Outside of California.
If they live outside of basically the coastal states, pretty much, it's like the middle of America. Well, no, it's really important for the middle of America and the southern states to really. No,
I mean, if you live in Florida, which is a coastal state, you should definitely vote for Biden.
Don't interrupt me.
I'm just saying.
Did you guys want to know what I was eating?
Pez.
No, a little something I like to call a Coca-Cola Tic Tac.
Oh my God!
It's a delight. I have to say.
I bet
I want it.
I hope they're not sugarless though.
They are absolutely not sugarless, and they even have a really amusing little Coca-Cola.
You can't really see that.
You can't really see it, but
Coca-Cola
I do like.
Oh, I see it.
I love the detail.
Oh, I want some.
Maybe
we should order some on Amazon.
Just a brief description of what they're like. For me, they're basically the equivalent of a hard shell version of a Coca-Cola
bottle
gummy.
Thing. Yeah.
Like a sour Coca-Cola flavored gummy that you would get at like a bulk waste pickup. No, just kidding. Like a bulk item candy place. You know what I mean?
Like a Costco situation.
No, not a Costco. Like a it's sugar kind of store.
Yeah,
you know those places?
It's sugar. No, it's like a candy stop type of situation.
A candy stop, exactly. That's very old school.
Let me ask you this though.
It tastes just like that, but hard shell.
So it has the flavor of Coca-Cola, correct?
It does.
So
not mint.
Do you like a flat Coca-Cola?
I do. I really do.
It's more like
you do.
Always Coca-Cola.
Okay, Max and Nikki, any opinions on a flat Coca-Cola? We're looking for.
I like the taste, but I don't really drink anything besides water. Like I don't drink sodas usually.
He didn't ask that. He asked if you like the flavor.
Hold on. Let me get to it though. But once in a while, if I'm very, very tired, I will pick up a Mexican Coca-Cola.
Oh, those are so good. Yeah.
And that might wake me up a little bit. And they are good, I must say. And those aren't flat.
No, I know.
I could drink a flat.
Because here's where I'm going. Oh, yeah, go ahead.
I love a flat Mountain Dew. Go ahead.
I just want to say, I actually generally think sodas, they are too carbonated because they kind of hurt, actually. So I kind of like it to be not flat, though. I don't know about flat, but maybe just a bit.
Lightly spritzed.
Lightly spritzed, yeah. Lightly spritzed.
Now, see, here's where I'm going.
I enjoy light spritz.
To me, the deliciousness of a Coca-Cola comes from the fresh, crisp flavor mixed with those beautiful little bubbles. You know,
Sure.
it's the combo of the two.
Yeah, but
now,
you don't
if
want
you
too
take
many
out-
bubbles.
If you take out that carbonation, you just infuse the syrup, the syrupy taste into this little pill.
Das is true.
I'm just not in. I'm not in.
No, I get it. I get what you're saying, Dominic. What I'm trying to say is when they actually first carbonate it, I think they go a little overboard on the spritziness. I think they just need to not, and then
That's only with mainstream sodas, but with like more refined, like finer branded sodas, such as like an elderflower soda that you could get at the pasta shop, somewhere like that. It's a very light carbonation, and they actually do it completely right.
Right. It's more.
But
like,
there are certain if you've ever had ginger beer, sometimes those
Don't like that.
I love
carbon-
ginger beer. Ginger beer.
Sometimes those are too carbonated, and you're like,
Oh,
this
no.
hurts.
No. That's not.
No.
true.
I think that's the flavor.
I think Nikki, it's the flavor. I think the mainstream sodas actually are too carbonated. For me now, it hurts. Is the thing.
Have
Okay,
you ever had
Laura?
a carbonated candy?
I mean, describe
That's
further.
what's up right there.
Describe
Otherwise
further.
known as, I believe it's called Rambu, something like that. I don't remember. I might be naming an actual soda, but you know those Japanese candies that are like kind of like haichu, but they're not in English, and they are.
You sound like some ditzy
They're carbonated.
Valley
They're
Girl
amazing.
type.
They're
They're like-
absolutely.
You know,
amazing.
like those candies that are like haichu, but
I'm like
they're not
trying
in
to sound
English.
all sophisticated and like knowing about what I'm talking about, but I actually have no clue what I'm talking about.
I know.
But let me tell you though, it is good though. You go to one of these candy stores, an Asian candy store preferably, and they will have these candies. They're carbonated on the inside. Yum.
So you're
That
chewing
sounds
in,
pretty good.
like you're biting
What?
into it, and then the inside is a carbonated liquid.
Not a liquid,
Well,
a solid.
what the hell is
solid.
carbonated?
Makes
Okay, Nikki,
Let me tell you this.
like
It's hard to
raising
explain.
I
hand.
haven't had any like sugar products or any sweets really in almost a month because I've been currently on this low histamine diet, and because I used to take antihistamines every single day, and I'm trying to wean myself off of that, and so I haven't taken any in almost a month, antihistamines, and so I'm trying to be on a low histamine diet. But you know what? With Halloween coming up, I'm very much looking forward to indulging in some sweet candy, and we ordered some online, and we are going to eat it on Halloween. Because
That
me
is-
and Max, we've been very strict about this quarantine. We haven't
That's
really
good.
gone out much. Certainly out of our neighborhood at all. We've gone out of our neighborhood maybe twice during the quarantine.
Oh, I've gone. No, I've gone out a couple times just
Yeah.
for a longer
Sure,
walk.
sure,
I've
sure,
never
sure.
gone to a very far off place or anything. But
We live in New York. I've only been into Manhattan once during this whole quarantine, and that was because I was a witness for a wedding that happened in Washington.
can
Square
I get a
Park.
witness?
But
That's what they said.
so what I'm trying
I
to say
stopped
is
myself from saying that because I thought, no.
what I'm trying to say is we've been
What are you
getting things
talking about?
we've been getting things delivered, and we're getting candy
Maybe for
delivered,
you, I
and
would
we're
say
excited about that on Halloween.
Candy is a tradition that can live through quarantine. You know,
Yeah.
there's a lot of, I think, aspects of many holidays that cannot live on, but I do believe that the candy aspect of Halloween can indeed live on. It can.
Absolutely.
But
It
is
survive
trick or
the
treating
virus.
gonna live on?
Yeah,
no.
but trick or treating's not living.
Trick or
Is
treating
it?
cannot
Maybe.
live on. No,
Cannot
Yeah.
live on.
cannot
That's
live.
That
sad.
just seems very dangerous. Yeah.
That's so sad for the kids.
I mean, there's maybe like a safe way to do it, but the thing is you'd really have to trust everyone in the neighborhood to do it
Yeah,
safely.
I don't trust everybody in the neighborhood.
There is a
And I ain't gonna do
Safeway.
that.
You can get candy at Safeway.
It's exactly it. Yes,
That's not safe.
Well,
you could get it ordered from or
Okay.
delivered from Safeway.
yeah, it
and
is.
that would be
I'd
safe.
true,
say it's
that's
not
true.
too bad. I mean, you could also, you can get
You
it
can
ordered from
make
Safeway.
candy. I bought some.
What are you, Willy
I actually
Wonka?
ordered some. Well,
You
yes,
can
I
make
wanted
the
to.
candy.
One of my dreams in life, I'm not even kidding you, is to
Come
have my
with
own
me,
candy factory in which
it'll
I get to just come up with ideas, and a chemist is on site that just makes my ideas happen.
I do
Wait,
know well
you want
enough
to
that
talk
that's
about
true.
Willy Wonka? Well, then come
always do.
with me, and you'll be
Hey!
in a world of pure imagination.
Whoa, that was actually pretty trippy for me. What are you guys' Halloween plans? Actually, is it just to eat a big old bag of candy, or?
Well,
No,
we actually our friend has his
Okay.
birthday on that day.
Okay.
And so we're gonna get on Zoom with him and some other people and maybe get in some costumes.
No, there's going to be a little bit of a costume contest and it's a trivia night too. It's going to be it's a trivia thing.
Oh, nice.
And so it's going to be a fun time. I hope. I think it is.
Yeah. By the
I
way,
feel bad
guys,
for
just
kids,
a
though.
little chime in here. I will be doing a Halloween sort of extravaganza for the next Parlor Shift show. So tune in for that. There's going to be all kinds of tricks and treats.
You
and
know what would be?
we
fun?
have a whole setup going, guys. I mean, just expect some fun.
On
You know what would be
Halloween.
Tune
cool
in.
is
No,
like
it's on
some
Monday.
kind of-
It's tomorrow night. So tune in 7:00 on the Foxtails Brigade channel.
You know what'd be cool is
gonna
some
be
Not
cool.
on
kind of like
Halloween though.
No, but it's gonna be we're doing a whole Halloween freak fest.
Laura, what's your plan for the actual day, though?
Right. Don't know yet.
Okay.
Oh, you know what? Actually, so my friend might be coming out from LA to stay with me.
ooh,
Oh,
I
I
don't
don't
like
like
that. That's not safe.
Oh, we get tested. How we do it is that, we
don't
get
trust it.
tested beforehand.
She's
don't
gonna have to
trust it.
stop over, get gas. I don't know. It's a whole thing.
Well, I
you know?
go to the, I mean, guys, I go to the store. So, that's my life. Like
don't know.
that's
I
my
mean,
level of sort of safety.
That's the thing
measure.
is, I don't
I've
think
reached the
people
store.
are being strict
You what?
enough
Wait,
during
what
this
is
quarantine.
Dominic? You say what, Dominic?
Oh, I said I breached the store. I breached that a long time ago. Like I've gone to the
don't-
store for sure.
Well,
I do it.
I personally don't. I personally wouldn't do that, but I will say in
fine.
California,
You don't know what the word breach.
I will
Well, I just
say
feel like,
though-
what do I gotta explain the joke?
I will say that in California though, the stores are bigger actually, so there's more space to go around.
Look,
Adam
If
Sherry's here.
everybody-
What's up, dude?
If everybody were as strict as me and Max during the quarantine
for 1 month,
for 1 month
we would have been done with COVID years ago.
That is very true.
Could have been
Years
Exactly.
years ago, we
Years
would have been
ago.
done with COVID years ago.
Exactly, years ago. We would have
Yeah,
gone back
exactly.
to years. We would have gone back in time and be done with it
Uh-huh.
2 years ago. That way, when we come here, we can set the clock forward and do the rock show on time.
What is this, Bill and Ted? Is that what
No,
that
I don't
reference
know.
was?
Just sort of
Listen,
throwing
really
ideas
though,
out there.
I'm being completely serious about this. People, you got to be more strict about this quarantine business. It's like, people are thinking it's just conservatives that are not being that are being very loose about it. But
don't
I
think that.
see a lot of liberal friends posting things on Instagram and Facebook, and they're not being careful at all. And it really kind of it annoys me a little bit. It's like, people, we got to get through this. I don't want to be in this quarantine for another year.
Well,
Anyway.
I mean, to be honest, I'm past the point of thinking that people are going to abide, and so I just think like,
Look,
it's just we're gonna have to wait for the vaccine.
The dude
Or we
abides.
have to wait for a
The dude
government that's
abides.
actually
Vaccine
going to
abides.
make us get through this on a faster pace here.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't honestly. It's
If
not
the government
just
just
the
like
government.
made us lock down, I think if they made everybody just stay in for a solid
month.
2 months, it would be over.
Yeah,
Or just
I
stop
know,
making
but-
it such a partisan issue, and it was just like,
Yeah, if
Hey,
the government
everybody,
just said this is
you
it,
gotta wear your mask.
we're all doing this.
yeah.
I know, but
it's like,
I-
come
quite
on,
simple.
guys.
But I mean, like as what Nikki was saying, it's not.
Just squash it out.
It's not just the Republicans.
No,
though.
I know.
It's-
That's what Dominic's saying. He's like, it shouldn't be a partisan thing,
no,
No, I
it has
know,
nothing
but-
to do with that. It's just health. It's safety. Like, doesn't everyone agree on
I
that?
know. That's what I'm trying to say. That's what I'm trying to
Yeah.
say.
Anyway,
We got a couple
Not
fun
everyone
comments
agrees
though.
on that.
We had a couple fun comments I was just going to read real quick from the audience. Adam Sherry, he says, I made a bowl full of Tootsie Rolls earlier today, and he beat...
I think he means like a toilet bowl full. It's a guess. That was just a sort of interpretive
That is what
dance.
he's saying. That is
Yeah.
what he's saying.
Wait, do you guys know him personally, or?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Oh,
he's a
Adam
good
Sherry.
friend.
You've
Oh.
met him too.
Oh, have I?
Brent's-
Oh, I'm sorry, Adam.
He was at my birthday
At
party
Laura's
like
birthday.
2 years ago.
Brent's known him
Okay.
since
And you were there.
since
middle
grade
school- middle
grade
school.
school.
And
Middle
he
school.
also said, I beat COVID in 2003. And then Chris Flieger followed that up with, now you have a bowel full of Tootsie, like MC Hammer's Too Much Tootsie.
Much Tootsie.
Oh,
You
Tootsie
know.
Roll. I see what
As you will.
I'm not joking though. I'm not even joking though. I am gonna make my own gummy bears.
You're going to...
I
Oh,
bought.
okay.
I actually purchased a gummy bear mold on
Yes.
Amazon.
Serious?
I am not even joking. I really wanted to try making my
Wait,
own.
is it like small?
No, they're like these silicone molds,
No, I know, but are the molds
and
like
they're used for
gummy bear
implants
size?
for various
Are they-
sort of
are they like-
lipos.
Are they this small or is it like a big gummy bear thing?
They're this small.
Yeah.
It's like a tray, and you there's a dropper, and you make you basically get a gelatinous gloop, and you drop.
I'm sorry, everybody.
You drop dropperfuls of. Sorry, carry on.
Nick.
Oh yeah, no,
it's like a creepy crawler situation.
You know, Max, I'm raising my hand.
No, it's
Nick. I'm sorry, everybody. Class. Nick.
The name's
teacher.
Nikki,
Teacher, I gotta use it.
I'm sorry, Nikki. I don't know why I'm calling you Nick.
Is this sort of the free talk portion of the show? Just
we've been freeballing for a while now.
Okay.
I was gonna just throw in real quick though that we will be getting to Borat in let's say like 15-ish minutes. So if you're tuning in and you want to hear us talk about Borat, we will be getting to that ever so shortly. But yes,
I just wanted to talk about a couple things that we've recently purchased during this quarantine.
Please,
such as Max and I are currently sitting on a couch, which we got during this quarantine. We've lived in New York for over 4 years, and it took us 4 years to finally get a couch in our apartment. And we
don't
did.
need to explain this to the whole world.
We also got a new TV.
I like it.
Another thing we got is we got a portable washing machine and a portable dryer.
We got a TV?
I thought you were going to say you got a portable toilet.
No, but we had a lot of help.
Another thing
Dominic
I got is
was
a
on the
portable
phone
toilet.
I was on the phone with Dominic for a long time talking about the right TV to get.
And then he steered you wrong.
Well,
because I know because they didn't like the TV they got. And then
No.
I wouldn't say that Dominic.
It looked like on the internet. It looked like it would have been the best purchase. But when we got it, there was a flaw with the technology.
Well, there you go. Dominic cannot be trusted. He cannot be trusted.
This is simply not true. I'll state the facts in a second, but go on.
Dominic was not his fault.
But I will say
at all.
we did end up returning that first TV, and we got a Samsung instead, and it's been treating us well.
Samsung.
Ooh, wow. Now I actually really do feel like I steered you wrong. Now I'm actually going to back up from all my statements. Wow. It was that big of a hardship.
It was
a bust.
It was a big issue.
It was a bust.
We're watching the Samsung, and it does not have any of the problems that TCL had.
That is wild. So is it 4K or what's the biggest difference?
It's 4K.
It's 4K. Yeah.
It's just the problem with the TCL is it looked
TCL.
like everything was in 60 frames per second. I mean, it was.
Well, no. The problem was it wasn't that. It was like a technological flaw with the Roku that was installed in it.
Yeah.
It like wasn't.
Yeah, I bet if you got a separate Roku and then you hooked it up to your TV, it would probably be fine. But
could be. But then it was also then like, well, then we wasted our money on the
part
idea of getting this was a smart TV that had Roku installed on it, and it was like, okay.
Part of the allure of the TV
of the
was
TCL.
that it had Roku installed in it.
Now, actually, I have a follow-up question on this portable washer and dryer because I am intrigued. I do not have a washer and dryer in my apartment. Please elaborate.
Well, so we were thinking we didn't feel safe, especially in the beginning of the quarantine, going into a laundromat.
They want to know what the portable washer and dryer is, not why you got it. It's obvious.
Listen, Laura, let me
Sorry,
elaborate.
go ahead.
And so I just thought to myself, I wish there was some sort of like portable washing machine that we could get in our apartment. Looked it up. Guess what? There is.
Such a thing.
So we got it. You know, you can't do like large loads at once, but you can do several smaller loads, and it works like a charm. It's great. Love it.
Okay.
And you just use less laundry detergent per load because it's smaller. And we got a portable dryer. Sure, it's going to take a longer to dryer things, but it still works.
But you don't have to go out to do it.
You don't have to go out to do it.
What's the hookup? Like, what sort of hookups
how
do you
portable
need?
is this? Is it like Walkman size?
So you basically hook it up to you hook it up to a faucet, actually.
Yeah.
Okay, so all you need is a faucet.
Yeah, and
Laura's not in. That was all she
outlet.
needed to hear.
No, you need a... Wait, why are you saying that, Laura?
I don't know if I would want to have that myself, but hey.
Why?
Are you joking?
You guys need it.
I might need
did
it.
Laura, you have
Laura
an actual
full-on
washer.
I know, I got
You have a house. You have a whole house.
Laura has a full-on washer and dryer.
You got a house.
I know.
Dominic,
Us city people got to think about this stuff.
Wait, no,
Dominic,
we're not
I
allowed
highly-
to have a real washer and dryer in our house.
Oh my gosh, that is
Dominic,
terrible.
highly recommend you look into it.
I will. Yeah.
Brent just bought one himself.
Okay.
So
I mean, that is the biggest shame of my apartment, to be honest. It's just the fact that I have to walk 2 blocks to do laundry.
I know.
I remember
just
those
sit there.
days.
Oh, I remember those days. When I lived in the Castro in San Francisco, and
Oh yeah.
I have to walk with a load, you know.
You had to walk with a load in your
Tell me,
pants.
what has
just,
changed since then for you, Max?
Big old load just hanging out of your pants, and you just gotta walk all the way over there.
Well, then I wash it. Then I wash it.
Yeah.
Then I take off then I take off the pants that have the load in it, and then I wash it. Yeah. And then I put them back on.
And everyone just sees your load.
Carry another load up to back to the house.
Oh man, that reminds me of this story. When I was living in San Francisco in this place in Alamo Square Park, there was this really smelly middle-aged guy that had moved into the place. He was the worst roommate I've ever had. We didn't want him to live there, but the landlord allowed him to move in. One day
he was a drug addict.
One day I got up to go do my laundry because there was
drug addicts are bad people. But
there was a washing machine
and do drugs in the apartment.
Max, please. There was a washing machine and dryer in the apartment. So I got up to go do the wash. I opened the washing machine, and it looked like there was a bunch of brown and bloody stuff in the washing machine. It was like, it was all brown and bloody. I was like, what the hell? I was like, did this guy like wash like a pooed stained like pants or something in here? It looked so gross. And like, I basically like just did many cycles with like vinegar in there and stuff and really try to bleach it all out, you know, because it was so gross. I was like,
I would have just
this guy was like the worst roommate ever, you know.
Well, I don't know.
I think
crazy roommate.
I think you were on the other side of our friend Dylan's story. Dylan was on this podcast but a mere few weeks ago and told a story about a dear friend of his who tried to wash some poopy out of his pants and just put it direct in to the like no pre-wash at all, just poopy pants direct in, and then just mixed it up, and then like basically just came
it was just
out
a full load of poo on
infused,
the pants. It was a full load of poo in the pants. No, there was
a whole load.
There was no pre-wipe.
Full load of poop.
There was no pre-wipe.
He tried to wash the poop, basically.
That's so crazy,
man.
I mean, I wonder if
poo
that was the same
thing,
load, you know? I love this word load right now. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, he washed a load with his loads.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Laura, do you have any brief little moments of pleasure that you wanted to pass on to us before we get into Borat?
Well, just to
let
you know, I've been working on some Halloween fun stuff, and it's coming out tomorrow. You better check it out. Check out the new Slave video, please, people. I would love for you to just, tell us how much you hate it or like it. I don't care. Just watch the darn thing. Also, I mean, we are gonna are we gonna have a little movie, like movies we've seen segment?
Right.
Yeah. Actually, why don't we just do that now?
Okay.
Let's
so I can say a little brief.
Yeah. Go ahead.
So I recently got on a major a major Shining kick, and
I like
watched I started with watching the '90s remake version of The Shining.
Oh, with Steven Weber.
With Steven Weber, exactly, and it was also starring Cortland Mead, pretty sure you say Mead. Also of Little Rascals fame, the kid who basically looks like this.
He looks kind of,
and he's like, I see them, okay? And he and Rebecca De Mornay as well, daughter
Rebecca
of the
De
infamous
Mornay.
Wally George. For those who don't know, but that's another story. Yeah, Steven Weber, I gotta say, he's up from the show Wings. In case those who don't know need to know, it was directed by Mike Garris, and I mean, it's the reason it's more closely tied to the Stephen King book.
Yes.
But
and Stephen King signed off
and he
on
endorsed it. Yeah, like he didn't like the Stanley Kubrick version.
Hated it.
Which is it's interesting. Yeah, this '90s version is very. The story's kind of fun, but it's really bad, and mainly because the acting on Steven Weber's part is just absolutely vomitous, for lack of a better word. It's just ungood. It's ungood. It's.
Can I say
I don't
something
know.
about
It's truly bad. Go
about
ahead.
the original Shining?
Yeah.
So Stephen King did not want Jack Nicholson to play the part of what's his name, Jack, in the movies?
Jack.
He didn't want him to play it because he thought Jack Nicholson already has kind of a sinister look to him, and they thought, people are going to expect going into it already that
there's not going to be like an evolutionary process.
It's not going to be a surprise, and I can see why he would think that.
Well, let me
finish.
I
kind of think though. I mean, if anything, that is like foreshadowing, which is kind of a cool thing to have Jack Nicholson.
What I was going to say about the experience of watching all the Shining movies, including Dr. Sleep, which was part 2 that came out in 2019, which was kind of good. Not great, but I mean, I didn't don't get me wrong. It is what it is. It's obviously kind of got a superhero kind of scene, like vibe going, which is not really my thing, but not expecting much. I kind of was amused, but The Shining, the Stanley Kubrick version, after rewatching that one for, having had many years pass since I'd last seen it and having watched these other ones before, it's funny. Immediately it starts off and you go, this is going to be the work of a director who knows what the hell they're doing. You know what I mean? Like, this is going to be so expertly done. Like, why would anybody try to redo this? But I watched, and as I continued watching it, the first minute you see Jack Nicholson, you're like, this guy is a good actor, unlike the Steven Weber character. But I have to say, after watching the whole thing, I realized it wasn't actually as good as I thought it was. I mean, it's good. Don't get me wrong. It's good. But Jack Nicholson's acting, it really is kind of one-dimensional. I mean, it's like he really is just that character and that character alone. There's really, and maybe it's the director's fault, but there really is not much character development in his character. Like, it really is kind of more of the same. He's that way in the beginning and he ends just more of that at the end. There's no major shifts. The only character I find to be very complex in that movie, and actually an incredible actor, is the little boy, the one who plays the little boy. Amazing actor. But Shelley Duvall, pretty flat character. She's got there's nothing that really changes about her from the beginning to the end, other than that she gets scared. But it's like her actual, the way she would respond to something is pretty much the same throughout. You know what I mean? She's kind of
never
always
thought she was that great.
Well, she was actually
like a naggy kind of, wife that cares for her son. That never changes. You know what I mean? The only thing that changes is the fact that her husband is trying to kill them. And
she was actually kind of.
It's just there's not a lot of character development, in my opinion, in this movie. But it is beautifully shot. Amazing, sort of. I think just a lot of the art direction is awesome.
Well,
off the wall,
Stanley Kubrick is all about that. I mean, if you watch Barry Lyndon, the shots are really beautiful in it. I wasn't a huge fan of Barry Lyndon. I thought it was all right, but and
it's funny because Jack Nicholson, who I tend to think of as a really great actor, he really is actually, apart from the moments where he does have to become very sinister and intense and angry, he actually does too much. If you watch carefully, he's kind of absurd in a lot of ways. Like when he's trying to act crazy or whatever, and he's acting like he's losing it, it's almost comical. It's almost kind of like you're watching a cartoon. A guy who's
I feel like I'm watching a cartoon right now listening to you talk about this. This is just absurd to me.
Rewatch. I never had these thoughts before, but I rewatch and I go, this is actually kind of funny.
I have seen The Shining upwards of 15 times, and I probably it's probably like top 5 for sure. It's hard to really name like one favorite movie.
Sure, top 5 material though.
It's top 5 material and absolutely my favorite horror film of all time.
I mean, Jack Nicholson, when he's trying to like get a grip, and he's going crazy, he's like,
Wait, is that?
I love it. I just love it.
Like,
but I also feel
humorous.
It's almost I don't even know where to start, and it would take so long. But I do want to hear what Max and Nikki have been watching as well. So let's hear from them.
Well, I've been watching a lot of movies. In fact, I've currently, during this quarantine, I've seen 189 movies.
Right.
I'll just name a few. I won't really get into depth with most of them, but some of my favorites have been The Red Shoes, Rear Window, Umbrellas of Cherbourg, His Girl Friday, Oliver, fantastic, Nashville, Persona. Oh, Dominic, if you really want to see what influenced David Lynch big time, watch Persona.
It's actually on. It's like next on my list. Ingmar Bergman is a director that I just recently. I mean, I had watched some of his stuff kind of a little more passively, I would say, in film school a long time ago. But I wasn't. It didn't really click with me. But then I watched. What was the movie? I watched one of his movies recently, and I was really into it. And so now I gotta see Persona because I've not seen it.
Well,
but yeah,
I don't think I really liked his like earlier stuff. Like I saw The Seventh Seal during this quarantine. I thought it was really boring. But Persona is really good. It's kind of one of his 60s movies where he started getting, changing the way he approached film. And I think you'll find that you'll be like, oh my God, this is almost like a David Lynch film, actually.
Yeah, totally. I love how he does close-ups, too. That's it.
You should watch that. The Straight Story I watched recently, which is a David Lynch movie that he made with Disney. Very good. It's not weird, or it's quirky in the same way a David Lynch movie could be, but it's very good. I highly recommend. High Noon, Blow Up, Anatomy of a Murder, Duck Soup. I saw all of the Matrix movies during this quarantine.
No, he had seen them before.
Just to see if I could understand them, because I saw them when I was, the second and third one in ninth grade, and those still are very hard to understand. All the like philosophical things that they bring up. It's like too convoluted, actually. The first one holds up still, but it's like, and the action sequences are good, but I don't know. Anyway. One last thing I want to mention.
Recently too, and I agree with exactly what.
Well, I think Nikki also rewatched them because they are making another Matrix is a thing.
Yeah. Well, they're all on HBO Max too. But I rewatched Beauty and the Beast, The Little Mermaid. Very good classics. And if you haven't seen Pocahontas before, I just got to say, Max and I have been really getting into Colors of the Wind lately because it's very well orchestrated.
And it's very lyrically
the
very
lyrics
good song.
Are so good. I usually don't like...
Actually, the animation of that scene itself is really good, too.
Right. So, highly recommend that. Oh, and I saw Akira a couple nights ago.
Akira?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Great movie.
The animation on that is really cool. Anyway, sorry for going through all that.
Max, what about you?
Well, I watched many movies as well, but I only wrote down a few to talk about because
that's fine.
We only have a certain amount of time here.
Yeah, we're kind of on a crunch at this point, aren't we?
Anyway, a good one that I saw with Jimmy Stewart is Harvey. If you check that out, Laura, you should know that because you did a short film Laura wrote the music to a short film that was kind of based on Harvey back in like 2010, 2011. Laura?
Wait, which one?
The one that with like the bunny rabbit or something like that? Or
oh, yeah. Yeah. Ferguson or something
like that. Anyway, that's based on a movie called Harvey with Jimmy Stewart. It's really good and like kind of an interesting look at mental patients in the 1950s actually, when they were kind of considered, they were outcasts and like not really, people weren't trying to understand them from a more empathetic level, I guess. So very good movie. Kramer versus Kramer, very good movie. I mean, shoot, I cried a couple times.
Speaking of crying, I rewatched Mary Poppins during this quarantine. Tear it up at the end. It's so good. Love it.
Tear it up. You just tore up that DVD.
Tear it up.
Well, I mean, first of all, Kramer versus Kramer, really good. Speaking of kids and movies, boy, that kid will make you cry one moment. Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
Teared up at the end of that. So good.
That's a really good movie. It came out the same year as Star Wars, I believe, right? And so it was somewhat overshadowed in the history of films by Star Wars, but still, I mean, I'm dare I say, I think it's. I mean, I know some people will disagree, but I think it's better than Star Wars. Anyway, and Rumblefish, interesting movie by Francis Ford Coppola. If you guys check that out, I mean, it's an interestingly done movie. Anyway, I know Nikki's saying move it along, even though he went on forever.
Well, yeah, go ahead.
This is Alien. I saw Alien and Aliens. I had never seen it before. And boy, oh boy, if I can be an advocate for practical effects, those movies and The Thing are just some of the best movies of all time.
Very, very, very much so. Yeah.
It's what, you don't agree?
No, it's fine. It's fine.
No,
The Thing has really
is
good
like
practical
so good, cool looking.
The Thing's cool, yeah.
Oh, God, it's so cool.
That's one of the better movies I've seen during the
It's one of the best movies I've seen during the quarantine.
No, it's cool.
Aliens, I think, is really the practical effects are really cool in that. Whatever Happened to Baby Jane, I think, is a really cool movie.
I actually thought it was all right.
No, it's an interesting delve into the psychology of this crazy woman.
Yeah, I'm sorry. You guys got to keep it moving along, I guess, right?
Yeah, I think. Well, we should probably get to the main event here, and that kind of leads.
Well, what about the movies you've seen?
I mean, I don't want to get.
I don't know.
Here's what I'll just say very briefly: is that I rewatched Borat, which will lead us right into our next segment. I rewatched the original Borat, and I do have some thoughts, but I feel like I'll just save it for this next section because it's going to be very relevant. Sure. So look, here's the deal: we're here to review Borat subsequent movie film, which is the sequel to the 2006 film Borat. Actually, I guess it has a much longer title that I didn't put here, but it's Borat. It's known as Borat. Sacha Baron Cohen is a comedian who's been he's known for the Ali G show. Obviously, this character Borat, Bruno, and most recently he did the 2018 Showtime limited series Who Is America, which had a 4-ish, I think, new characters that he played. So if you don't know Sacha Baron Cohen, he comes up with characters, and then those characters interact with real life people out in the world, and he's kind of fooling them into interviews or various kinds of situations, and often kind of reveals something out of the person that he's interviewing through these kind of characters that he's created. So his latest effort is Borat subsequent movie film, which we are reviewing. And it just came out. It's on Amazon Prime if you haven't seen it. You can actually watch it for free through Amazon Prime, which I was a little shocked by. I didn't realize it was just going to be free. I thought it was just going to...
It's a political movement.
I love it.
But he's trying to get people to watch it,
Yeah, and he I think he's absolutely succeeding.
I think.
Succeeding getting people to watch it is what I'll say. But yeah, so look, it's directed by Jason Woliner, and he's mostly a TV director. He's directed a bunch of shows that include Funny or Die, Parks and Rec, The Last Man on Earth, Nathan for You, etc. And one last thing I will say about this movie before I turn it over to our guests for a little to get us started on our review. The film was shot also in complete secrecy, as he kind of is become known for at this point. Throughout 2020, he shot this, and it only kind of leaked in very, very small ways. Just revealed about a month ago that it was even coming out with a trailer, and then now here we are a week before the election, and he has released it for free, which is a pretty wild thing to do. All right, so look, we are going to talk the film. If you haven't seen it, you can still keep on watching, because we're not going to get into the details of what actually happens in the movie until a little later. We'll make it very clear. So for now, we're just going to give our impressions about what we thought overall. So we always like to start with the guest here at Totally Tell Me. So Max or Nikki, would one of you like to get us started here with what you thought of Borat's subsequent movie film?
Sure.
Which is
I'll
a mouthful.
Be brief.
Of course, Nikki will go first, as usual.
I'll be brief.
He just always does that.
I thought there were quite a few laugh out loud moments in the movie, especially when the first 5 minutes, Max and I cracked up like 3 times.
So much so that we actually
that we had to pause and rewind
because we were laughing over the film actually a little bit. But.
That said, I thought the movie.
Be careful how you say this.
Didn't quite accomplish what I wanted it to, and what I think it was trying to set out to do. So I think it was a bit unsuccessful for me. Mm-hmm. That's my kind of overall thought on it. Max?
Okay, yeah, Max.
Yeah, I mean, I pretty much agreed with Nikki. I sort of had again, there was some, boy, oh boy, especially in that first 5 minutes, I just was like, oh my God, this is so freaking funny on some of these moments. But there is a certain, I had this expectation of going into the movie because it's free right now and it's coming out during election season, and I think that's why it's free. So I had an expectation of what the reasons for it coming out right now are, and I guess it didn't really fully meet those expectations for me. Anyway, that's
in the sense that it would maybe shake things up or something.
Right.
Oh, and all right. Well, Laura.
Okay.
I mean, I can expound more.
No. Let's
later.
keep it brief for now.
Later,
Let's keep it brief for now. Laura.
Yeah, I thought it was. There were some funny moments. Also, definitely some funny moments and some interesting scenes. But as a film, like as a movie, it wasn't. It just wasn't sort of a good movie. I guess you know what I mean.
Right.
I mean, in my opinion, my humble opinion, IMHO, as they say.
Out of town.
It'll just never make sense.
I would have preferred this if it were not in the format of a movie, but rather just a collection of fun clips. You know what I mean? Like, I think that the thing that makes a lot of his feature length films, the weak thing about all of them for me is the fact that they're trying to have a storyline.
Right.
They don't need a storyline. It doesn't need a storyline. It just needs to be fun to watch is all. And that it is fun to watch. Like the parts for me that are not fun to watch are the parts that are like trying to tie it all together in the format of a story. Right. And I'm just like, can we just get to the fun stuff here? Let's just watch the scenes that we came here for.
Sure.
Which are like the outrageous parts. And also, of course, well, we all know. I'm sure everybody knows.
No.
Let's talk about that in a second.
I'm not going to say anything about what happens in it, but everybody knows that there's certain people that appear in this movie, and that's kind of like what we're all here for.
We'll get to that in a second.
Well, not necessarily.
But yeah, definitely some funny. What did you think, Dominic?
I'm a little shocked that we're all in a very similar boat here. I almost thought that I was going to come in and be the negative Nancy of the group or something, because I also felt that it had some great highs. I mean, there was moments that I was just cracking the fuck up, like uncontrollable laughter. Right. There are just serious highs, but then there's just this simmering, just kind of funny, but then kind of missing the mark vibe going on for most of the time. Mm-hmm. I totally agree with you, Laura. The segments that they clearly have inserted to make the interviews make sense, like have context for the story, are just they feel
it's not necessary.
They just feel kind of uninspired and kind of it's just not his
maybe
forte.
Maybe they were uninspired. Maybe it was like forced upon him by whatever, like the network or who knows what. It might not have been his choice to do that. I mean, then again, it's like you look at movies like the Jackass movies, and they don't have to have a story. They don't have a story.
We also know just from seeing his other stuff that his expertise comes with playing a character and putting that character in a room with someone who is unaware that they are that he is a character.
Right, he's kind of subverting.
That's his whole thing.
Crazy characters.
Yeah, and like the TV show didn't have to have a story. The TV show doesn't have to have like a story. You know what I mean? And that was perfectly entertaining enough. You know what I mean?
Right. I mean, I get that in a movie, if you were just watching basically a clip show for 90 minutes, it might get a little tiresome. But
No.
Except the Jackass movies is kind of a clip.
The Jackass movies are just that, and they are absolutely entertaining throughout.
Okay, I mean, actually, fair enough. I do agree about the Jackass movies.
Sure, there you go.
I thought the same thing too. I was like, maybe it wouldn't be, cohesive, or there wouldn't be enough structure. But actually, it has been done, and it's fine.
Interestingly enough, there's a comment here from Nicole Kyle. She said, somehow I was completely unaware of that scene until I watched the movie. Shocking. So some people don't necessarily know.
Wow.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
What happened in the movie before they saw it. But I also, so real quick before we get into spoilers and really start talking about what works and what doesn't, which I think will be the bulk of this conversation, I do want to say that I just rewatched the original Borat, and I almost felt like that was a mistake because when I watched the original Borat, it got me so pumped for this movie because I was just nonstop laughter. That movie is incredible to me. Even the moments where they have to kind of fill in some context for the story, it's so brief and it's usually actually pretty funny that like they really just get you moving on to that next interview, and the pace is just nonstop hilarity the whole time. I was cracking the fuck up, and I was so excited to see this movie, and I almost felt like it did a disservice because it was like, man, this just doesn't hold up, especially when you're viewing them back to back. I feel like I would have liked this more had maybe this was my first introduction to Sacha Baron Cohen or something. But I just feel like I expect so much from him because I find him so brilliant as a comedian that this just didn't quite hit the mark for me. Even I felt like Who is America, even though it was also uneven, Who is America, the Showtime series, for those who don't know, I felt like that was also uneven, but it was more consistently hilarious than this was, in my opinion. All right, I think that's pretty much all I'd have to say though on non-spoilers.
Spoiler time.
So yeah, so if you haven't seen Borat's subsequent movie film, also known as Borat 2, you should probably tune out now. We will be discussing the movie in depth, discussing all the specifics that happen, people involved, etc., etc. So it would probably be best for you to not know, but if you want, you can keep on listening, and I guess nothing can really spoil some of the stuff that happens. Yeah. Oh, my mom says Dad and I are going to sign off. Yeah. Dad and I are going to sign off to finish watching Borat's subsequent movie film. Love you guys.
Good. Enjoy.
Look at that. See, look, I'm glad this helps somebody not get spoiled. All right, so look, spoilers. I'm going to put our little spoiler warning up on the screen here, and we're good. We're good to go, everybody. Who would like to begin talking over here? Go ahead, Nick. Nikki. Sorry, I don't know why I keep saying Nick. I'm so sorry.
So I'll start with some good stuff. There were some very big highs, and I'll recount a couple of them. One of them was when he's being punished and they place him at the top of that
hammer, like the carnival game thing.
The carnival game thing, and the thing goes up and hits his crotch. That was hilarious.
I believe he lets out a wah wah wee wah at that point as well.
What's that?
I believe he lets out a wah wah wee wah. His classic phrase from the first movie.
Another funny part was he's like, I need my original producer, and he's like,
he's
you're
sitting on
him. And
that was my favorite part of the whole movie.
Shows this penis.
Good, I love that.
That was like
so
the best moment of the
funny.
movie. It was
absolutely hilarious.
Funny.
We had to pause.
This is so ridiculous.
It's like a chair made out of this guy's skin, and then they left the penis on in the seat crack. It's just so brilliant.
It's
Who
so
thinks
absurd
of that?
too. Yeah. We had to pause and then rewind.
It's so funny.
It was like. That was so funny. That was probably the best moment of the movie.
I was laughing out loud on that,
but it was good.
I think that's the best moment of the movie.
Oh, you don't think that was the funniest part, Dominic?
Oh, no. But it was very funny.
There was also this part where it's in the beginning where he's showing a graph, and he's like, this is the graph of what was it? Production and pubis.
Oh, right.
Something, and they both go down. It's just kind of a funny, ridiculous.
See, it sounds like you guys actually really liked that intro story bit.
Yeah,
but maybe not the other story bits.
Well, the thing is, I did like the intro story bit because it wasn't. It was still just kind of. It was just like an introduction to what's going to happen in the film, and I didn't quite know. It didn't have any emotional context yet. You know what I mean? There was nothing like.
Or maybe you just liked the funny parts that were in those parts.
Yeah, maybe I just liked the funny parts.
It was just because it had funny parts in it.
Right. It wasn't necessarily being. It wasn't necessarily.
Not because of the story.
Right. It wasn't because of the story. Yeah. Right. What Laura's saying. Yeah.
But yeah, as Laura was saying though.
You're welcome.
You got it.
As Laura was saying, we thought more so than any of his other films, especially the story part of this movie was very weak. I thought it was like not only did it detract from the funny moments of the movie, but it also was kind of a lackluster storyline in general. Like it wasn't.
Well, it's just also I think what I expected the film to try and set out to do as far as its goals were. The story detracts from that as well. Actually, but I think the interviews are what are supposed to be. I think he's trying to shake things up and try to expose some truths about
Yeah, I think they really had
Americans.
I think they really had to bend over backwards to give the interviews context this time, because it just felt like they really had to find reasons as to why these characters would then, I guess we're in spoilers. So like for example, like the Rudy Giuliani thing, which everyone was talking about, it felt like her scrolling through those people and then landing on Rudy Giuliani. It just was like, it almost made me think like, oh, did they try and get an interview with all these people and then only they could snag Rudy Giuliani? Because I'm sure they tried.
I think it was funny how they were like arrested in jail. Yeah, each person was like a criminal already.
But I just mean like I'm sure there was a lot of stuff that they had to cut from this film because they either got found out or for whatever reason.
He interviewed Donald Trump Jr. for the film, but that had to get cut out.
No way, really?
Yeah.
Why? Why did it have to get cut out?
I don't know.
Well, I'm sure he didn't get the go-ahead on it, but
Of course, they're not going to get the go-ahead on it from any of these people. They're willing
they sign
to
off beforehand.
Oh yeah, I don't know then. I don't know.
And
well, maybe there was some pressure.
I know they would never.
But speaking of,
I'm sure there was some pressure though. You know,
speaking of the Rudy Giuliani,
you don't think so? Like from Donald Trump's. It's his son.
Oh no, Mike Pence is in it. Rudy Giuliani.
Know, but
Mike Pence. There's no hard evidence on Mike Pence. There's nothing on Mike Pence in it. There's nothing embarrassing.
There's nothing revelatory about.
I think
Mike Pence is doing in
sometimes his scenes don't work, and he's been pretty open about this. Where like Sarah Palin also was cut from Who Is America, not because not because they didn't have her sign off or something. It was just simply because he felt like it wasn't funny enough. It just wasn't. It didn't work, and so they cut it.
Do you think that's what happened with Donald Trump Jr.?
I mean, could be, yeah.
We actually think that the Rudy Giuliani thing.
Well, hold on. Let's get to that. Wait, anything else you want to say about other details?
Yeah, I do want to say that there were parts that seemed very, like, you noticed there were a lot of writers on the film, and there were certain things that were very funny that seemed like Sacha Baron Cohen probably came up with them himself. But there's certain parts.
Some of the other writers might have come up with too.
Okay, but there was.
I'm just trying to get some credit. You know, I just feel like I don't want. Look.
Wait.
Okay.
Hold up 1 second. Can you both just pat each other on the shoulder? Oh, there we go. Yeah, that's looking great. That's looking absolutely fantastic for the home viewing audience. Thank you. All right, proceed.
But there were these other parts that there were these other parts that were trying to be woke or whatever, and it came across as cheesy or not Borat-esque, you know. It was like trying too hard. Like the end thing with the Karen thing. I hate that phrase, Karen. It's so stupid. But it's like that whole thing at the end.
It's very trendy.
That whole thing at the end with the Karen thing, I didn't like that. It seemed like some woke writer wrote that or something like that. You know? Oh, sorry, Max.
No, I'm just I don't like the idea of disparaging any. You know, it takes some time and effort to for writers to be.
Sure, no.
I just don't want to
right.
I'm just saying just relax on that.
Sure.
I mean, I get what you're saying with things maybe feeling a little too try hard, but more so in the sense for me of just the outrageous factor, because I feel like there wasn't it didn't feel like there was enough room being left for the people he was interviewing to have genuine reactions that would be funny in and of themselves. Because I feel like when he's at his best, he's bringing a ridiculous situation, sure, to the table, but he's also leaving enough room in the writing for whoever he's interviewing to say or do something that will just be funny no matter what, you know? But this was so overbearing sometimes with its ridiculousness that it's almost like the people's reactions were like, all right, I could kind of see, like, that's a pretty standard reaction, you know? If you, like, I don't know, I'm just thinking
Not all the time.
Yeah, but I'm just thinking of, like, for example, when he brings his daughter in.
I agree with him, yeah.
When he brings his daughter in with the ball and chain and whatever, and throws her in the corner, and
that was a
it's
normal
like,
reaction.
Supposed to, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
No, but that was very, I think, kind of controlled, because, and I mean, I don't know if it was controlled, but that woman responded very appropriately and very, in a way, kind of understandably.
But then that's not funny to me. Like,
no, that's not. But then, like, but she's like on the left. You know what I mean? Whereas all the people that are kind of having these outrageous reactions or reactions that are highly inappropriate or almost like immoral are people that are like, in a way, I mean, all these scenes are manipulated to some degree, right? They have to tell the people something in order to like get them to agree to be on camera, or, you know, why are their cameras recording this whole thing?
They tell them they're making a documentary and that this person, you know.
Okay. So, you know, there's some degree of manipulation to evoke a specific response. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yes.
And so, like, I don't think he wanted like a dark response from that woman necessarily. You know what I mean?
But that very same woman, I felt like also had one of the better scenes with the daughter later on, which I felt like did leave enough room for her reaction to be funny, even though it is genuine. Because that's, I think, the beauty and the comedic brilliance of the first movie is you're seeing people's genuine reaction.
Yeah,
and that reaction is funny, not just what the character's doing.
Yeah.
It's the reaction to the character.
But not only that, it's also achieving the goal of perhaps exposing that person for
their shortcomings.
I mean,
like with Who Is America, for example, something that
or it undermines their Anyway, go
something
ahead.
that Who's America accomplished was like it got that one guy out of office. He resigned because
Georgia senator.
Yeah, because of the things he said.
Something Spencer,
this movie,
right? Jason Spencer.
Right. This movie didn't accomplish anything like that, where it would get, in my opinion, a politician.
It's doing something.
A currently serving politician in trouble enough to
that's
have
questionable.
to resign.
See,
well,
I
don't know
love
about
that
resigning,
too.
but
I love all that.
I think that this
aspects.
is doing something.
I don't think so.
But
it is. Have you looked at the reviews?
What?
Go ahead.
Who cares about the reviews?
Separate from all that, though,
what matters?
Sometimes it can convince you. Anyway, go ahead. Yeah, I see what Laura's saying.
Voters. Go ahead.
I think separate from all that, though, that isn't what makes it funny, though. That's what makes it interesting and an engaging thing to see. And no matter what, I mean, look, the shortcomings that I feel like the movie had, I still think Sacha Baron Cohen is a fucking genius.
He's a genius.
And this is like
one of the most groundbreaking
piece.
Comedians.
Yeah, I mean,
I think he's one of the funniest people alive, actually of all time. Actually,
so that's not up for question. But what I'm saying is like, I don't care who gets arrested or whatever happens.
You're right,
like,
Dominic.
Let's talk about how funny
right.
the movie is, and
you're
it's
absolutely
not that
right.
funny.
You're absolutely right. You're right that even in the Ollie G character, on the Ollie G show, even if he's not exposing somebody, it is their reactions to that character. Whether or not they're revealing something about themselves, it's just funny to that interaction is funny. You're right.
Yeah,
absolutely.
and I love the improv that comes from it too, where
sure.
Their reaction, then he immediately comes back with something that's just fucking hilarious, or keeps it going. It's like it's just like they're riffing off each other, and that is where it just goes off the rails and so brilliant to me.
Right, not enough riffing.
I wanted more of that, because it felt like they were handing these people such insane situations that what are they gonna do but just go like this or like just be shocked or whatever.
Right.
Yeah,
like some
the
of these situations.
Wasn't it like nuanced and subtle enough?
Yeah, the debutante ball was like
that was interesting.
where it was like it almost felt like certain things were planned or something. Yeah, you're right.
It did make you wonder, like, how much of this is real and how much...
It made you wonder how much of this is real.
Well, that was the problem, I think, with the film.
Like,
a lot of it made me think, like, how much of these reactions are real, or how much are they telling the people?
Like, right. In past material, you don't wonder. Exactly. In past things, you're like, this is real. You just know it's real. It feels very real.
Like, the guys he goes to stay with, during the quarantine, they must have been let in on something, right? I mean,
a crew is staying in their home.
Right.
Not only is the crew staying in their home, but it's like, why would this guy who they just meet on the street, the one guy meets him on the street, and it's during coronavirus, be like, I have no place to stay. Can I stay with you? And he just like says yes, as if like that's clearly not a real scene right there. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then also like this guy just has like these dildos and like fleshlights and stuff that he's like parading around the house with while he's staying there. Like,
I thought it was funny.
I thought that was funny.
I thought that was funny.
I think that's funny too. I think it's hilarious.
Even though,
but it's like as if these guys would just be totally fine with that. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, right. I mean, they had to have known something or been down with something. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, that's actually where it got a little more believable to me, which is I think there is this kind of funny aspect to Borat as a character where even in the first movie, people are kind of like, they kind of give him the benefit of the doubt because they're like, oh, well, maybe this is just a cultural difference or something.
Like,
and that's why it's so funny.
Just like around the house.
Right.
I know, but that's what made the first movie so funny is it's like people were just putting up with it to a degree, and it's just hilarious. I mean,
it is funny. It just seemed like I didn't believe that they were just totally that nonchalant about it in their own home after they were just like going on these ridiculous rants about the Clintons and stuff.
Yeah, like, there's a couple people in the comments too who are bringing up a good point that I also felt like. Tori Young, what's up, Tori? Said, wouldn't they recognize that he's Borat? And then Nicole Kyle says, but I'm still trying to figure out, had they never heard of Borat? Again, it's kind of like
That's why.
Did they
that's
really
why
not ever hear of
Well,
Borat the movie, which was a huge?
I think there might be like it showed how many people knew who Borat was.
Yeah,
but I guess those two guys seem like they would have known who he was. I agree.
Well, maybe. I mean, yeah.
You know,
I mean, I guess maybe not, but
What's always question? That's the thing. We're questioning the.
But you know what?
yeah, you don't want to do that.
For me, I was like, honestly, I was kind of excited for this movie to do something that was gonna maybe have a real impact on the election. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that was my investment in this. I was like, all right, what's he gonna do? What's he
Right.
gonna show us that's gonna be,
Right.
really consequential? And well, I don't think it totally failed at that. I think that even though people are, maybe for you guys it did, but I think there might be some people out there who are swing state voters who are undecided, who are not going to be watching it with as scrupulous of an eye, that maybe just look at that scene and go, hey, I don't want to vote for a president that's being represented by a lawyer who might be hooking up with a quote unquote.
So let's talk about that.
Let's talk about that scene, because I
just
think that there was nothing exposing person. I know it sounds really
you
controversial.
don't, but I just think other people might think.
Yeah,
that.
but she seemed like a journalist in it. He's single,
I agree.
by the way. Rudy Giuliani. She didn't say her age at all. She looks like she's of age anyway. There's nothing wrong with that scene.
No,
I
know.
Think there's anything.
Let the people who think there is something wrong with it think that. You know.
I know,
what I mean?
but I don't even think it achieves that at all.
It does
actually.
do. It does.
It
Have you
doesn't.
seen so many people are thinking that he was trying to do pedophilia with a 15-year-old because they don't recognize that she's not actually 15. In the movie, she says she's 15, but obviously the actress is not the same age.
In the scene itself, it doesn't.
Basically, playing.
There's nothing revealing to him about
her
her being 15 at all, and she
you know
looks.
what I mean?
She's dressed like a journalist.
It's kind of blasphemous, but hey. Whatever.
So do we all agree that the most the most outrageous scene of what would actually cause some change here is the Rudy Giuliani scene, or does anyone disagree with that?
Well, I think that's what people think that it.
I think that's the only. Well, no, but there's. I mean, just the scenes of showing the Middle America, like these like QAnon people, the people doing the chanting, saying like "shoot them down" or whatever. That part is pretty hardcore.
Because I actually
that was
I'm a little bit with Max too, where I feel like the Rudy Giuliani scene, sure, it's shocking, but it's also like coming after 4 fucking years of shocking. We've heard so much about these people who, I mean, we already know they're fucking terrible. I was actually a little more intrigued by the rally scene. I felt like that could potentially be some
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
Let me just clarify here. It's not that I think. I'm not watching this going, this is shocking, because in fact I didn't find it to be shocking at all, and I actually totally buy the fact that he says that he was tucking his shirt. I watched the scene several times and I'm like, oh yeah, he is totally tucking in his shirt, and she totally just took his microphone off his shirt and would need to tuck his shirt in after that, and it actually looks exactly like that if you watch closely. Whatever, it doesn't matter what I think though. Because I want people who don't look at things closely to just believe that what it looks like is that he's trying to hook up with a 15-year-old or whatever. If that's going to be effective enough to make somebody vote the other way, then I'm all for it right now, because
me too. I mean, yeah,
all the help we can get right now. You know what I mean? I feel like imagine if the tables were flipped. Imagine if the tables were flipped and the Republicans had this video and Joe Biden was in the room. Imagine what stories they'd be spinning from that and just projecting into the ether relentlessly.
Right. I think that was I think the point of the movie was
this is him doing that.
He's doing that.
Playing the game.
He's playing the game basically.
He's playing the game. He's playing the game in the way that Democrats are always too scared to play it. You know what I mean?
I know, but I honestly don't.
I don't know. I just feel like.
But actually,
in a way, it's totally legal. It's totally within the It's totally within the realm of reason to create something like this and to put it out there and let people judge for themselves. And that's the thing is, all 4 of us may be able to distinguish what's really going on, but there might be people out there who don't take the time to have that that ability to decipher what it is that's happening. You know what I mean?
I mean, I agree what you're saying, Laura. I can see your perspective on that, but personally, it didn't take me any time or anything. I just watched it and I was like, okay. I also had this expectation of that something was going to be shocking about that scene, because I had heard that he was in it, and I thought it was going to be something exposing, and I'm like,
well, there were already
okay,
headlines that
was
were
the
like
point? What was
people
the
who
point?
had seen it. People who had seen it were already like, Rudy Giuliani tries to hook up with a 15-year-old.
Right.
Yeah,
Like,
I
that
kind of
was-
wish I hadn't seen that actually, because
I didn't see that.
I was trying to
didn't see that.
avoid
I didn't
stuff,
see that.
and I
But-
still saw it.
I know
Me
you did,
too,
but
yeah.
at least what does that say about how people are reacting to it? Interestingly enough.
I guess so.
Sure.
You're right, Laura. You're right.
So there you
You're
go.
right.
So it is convincing some people. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I even hesitate to like talk about this to the few 7 people that are watching on Facebook who maybe
Sure.
are for it or think
Laura,
that it is.
But the people
In
that are
fact,
watching on Facebook,
are our friends.
I mean, I don't know actually. I mean, do you have any swing state fans?
I don't know. Maybe.
I don't know. Hey,
But
let
actually,
us know. Let
Dominic-
us know if you're outside of
Yeah,
California.
let
in
us
the
know
chat.
what you guys think. And actually, Dominic, I'm curious though. You said that you thought it was shocking what was happening in the scene.
I mean,
I'm
that
curious
wasn't
as
to
to know
disparage the
No, no,
podcast.
no.
why
I mean,
you
I
thought it
hope
was
that wasn't-
shocking.
No, I didn't say it was shocking. I
You
said
did. You were like, yeah, it's shocking, but blah blah blah. And I said, I was thinking, what? What was shocking about it to you?
You guys maybe very well have swing state. Fans.
Right.
we'll find out in a matter of minutes, I'm sure.
But Dominic, what did you think it was shocking or not?
The Rudy Giuliani scene?
Yeah.
No. Well, I thought it was just as, whatever. He's a slimy dude, and he's hitting on young women. I mean, I don't find that in and of itself to sway my opinion of Rudy Giuliani, who's a piece of
Right.
shit in so many other ways. Like,
Uh-huh.
it's not like I need that to push me over the edge. But look,
Right.
if it pushes somebody else over the edge, I am with you, Laura. I'm all
Right,
for it.
exactly,
Like, hey, if it's
Right,
another
right,
piece of
right,
ammo,
right.
like if people needed that to
Right.
push it, like whatever, cool, I'm down.
Exactly.
But it didn't sway my opinion, and it didn't really move the
Right.
needle for me.
Right. It's like, yeah, totally. I hear you. But yeah, right.
Okay, look, we should wrap up in about 10 minutes or so. I want to give one more example just real quick, just about what I mean with when I think it's really effective. There's another scene with that same woman that they bring in the daughter to like babysit the daughter. Later on.
By the way, the actress's name is Maria Bakalova.
She's
Oh,
Bulgarian.
right.
in
She's
real life.
Bulgarian. She's
Yeah, Bulgarian.
And in
Oh,
fact,
one other
interesting-
fun fact about the movie.
Yeah.
They never are actually speaking Kazaki, by the way,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
I was wondering about.
Hebrew.
Sacha Baron Cohen is speaking Hebrew, and
Right.
she is speaking Bulgarian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really funny.
I know.
No,
There's
we-
also
we should
another
talk-
funny
let's-
trick, like to see if people even notice.
I
it's
did
an
notice that Sacha Baron Cohen said some Hebrew words, and it made me wonder, like, what exactly language is he speaking? Because I was like, did he just? Are there words in Kazaki that sound like Hebrew? And I'm just
Well, I knew they
mistaking it.
weren't speaking, that, but I just.
Well, I didn't know. I thought maybe they because truth be
didn't know
told, I
either.
don't really
I thought
know
it might have
anything
been
about the
gibberish
culture.
that they were
of
like very good at gibberish.
Kazakhstan.
Actually,
I know it's actually very convincing. If like obviously
Well,
I
I
don't
mean,
know the language either, so I was as well.
my introduction. I hate to say it, my introduction to Kazakhstan was through this movie, through Borat One, Kazakhstan, and like I think that's the case for a lot of people. And I have to say, I feel for them a little bit for that because
Yeah.
he really is painting a picture of this country that people don't know about and making it seem like they're this way. And I would be upset if I was from Kazakhstan.
Oh,
you know
yeah,
what I mean?
right.
I mean,
I mean, God, he's like totally. It is kind of racist.
Yeah, in
But
that
hey,
way.
go
well, it's
ahead.
not racist. It's
it is in a way. It's like
It's prejudice, if you can say. If you
well, I
want to
guess
say that.
it's prejudice. It's like
Well,
and it's probably creating
it's a
racist
character. It's a
reactions
character.
to the country. It's
Well,
not
no,
just
I
a
mean,
character
But
though.
the-
He's actually
Laura,
like
when you
this-
say
he's-
racist, though, that
He's defining an entire country. It's not just a character. Like I
I know,
am
but
able
a country
to
is that's
distinguish.
not necessarily a race. Anyway, go ahead.
Let's talk about the daughter. What did you guys think of the
Okay,
daughter
fair
in
enough.
general?
I
Because
thought the actress did a good job.
She was great.
I thought she did a really good job, but I don't know if like I don't know. Yeah, I thought she did a good job. The actress.
I thought she
Dominic,
was
you were going to
great.
say something. Oh, okay. Yeah, I thought she did a good job. Again, like, yeah, she did a good job.
What was accomplished with her
you know,
character
with the
was
character was accomplished
successful.
because of the storyline wasn't, that kind of made me not see the whole point in it at all. But anyway,
I thought she was great.
Yeah.
I felt like she was a great addition, a kind of nice foil for her for Borat, and I felt like she.
Yeah.
I actually felt like some of her scenes were some of the better ones in the movie. Again, I wanted to just touch briefly on one of the scenes with the woman that is babysitting her essentially. when she brings out the book of how you should never touch your vagina.
Yeah.
And then she's like reading through it and she's like, I've touched my vagina. Like, I feel like that scene was so fucking funny. And
Right.
and it's in a way, it's also kind of heartwarming in this odd way. Like it's this really nice scene that's saying something good, and it's not like shitting on anyone or whatever. It's just like hilarious to me. And I was just I feel like that really summarizes what I wanted to see more of in the movie, because it was ridiculous, sure, of course, that you would have this book that would tell her to never touch herself, but it wasn't so insane that like she couldn't then offer something of herself to then contribute to the comedy of it. Because then what she offers is genuine but funny, because it's like, a ridiculous situation. But yeah, I feel like the daughter was great. Go ahead.
The scene where
Nikki.
they go into the like Christian doctor's office to try to get
that could be
like they're getting an
That's
abortion.
Like
Oh,
like,
that was very
that
intense.
sort of shines some light on how bad the beliefs
ethics
are,
of that
the
whole
ethics of that thing. And,
that was very
you saw the
clever.
reaction of the doctor too, which is kind of
He's like, that's not what's important now.
it's like God has mysterious plans, he said, or something like that.
That's like a brilliant
That's
setup.
what that is the number one argument probably.
It's
for
that sort of setup
pro-lifers.
that I wanted to see more of, where it's like he has forethought this whole scene. Like he already knows, if we go in there and we say there's a baby inside her, he's gonna say this, this, and this, and this, and then we can totally just riff on that for a whole scene, and then we're good to go. But that like includes the other person equally, if not more, than the ridiculous character, the innocent bystander. You know what I mean? And I just want to see a little more of that, because some of these other scenes where like the daughter, she goes up in front of all of those women and she's talking about how she's just touched herself for the first time. To me, that leaves no room for the other people in the room to like, I don't know, do something that would add to the comedy. Yeah.
Right.
And it just wasn't funny to me. It was just kind of like, okay.
I will say I was kind of tired when I was watching this movie too. I mean, that could have had effect on me. I mean, I was like, I had to tell Nikki to pause it because I needed to take a nap actually. But anyway.
Took a nap.
Well, I was like really tired, but anyway.
Oh dear.
I've never done that.
Okay, any final thoughts?
She's joking. Laura falls asleep all the time during movies.
Yeah, right. Laura falls asleep all the time.
No, I
It's
don't.
her go-to move. It's her go-to move.
True.
It is not my go-to move.
Oh, it totally
I think
is.
both Star Wars
hate-
movies that we were on the review of for this
those are
podcast,
worthy
she
of
fell
being followed.
asleep. She fell asleep.
Well, who could
Oh.
possibly not fall asleep during that?
Let me assure you,
What are you
Max and
talking
Nikki,
about?
as someone who's now watched over 100 movies with Laura, she falls asleep in, I would say, about 50%.
No,
of
I
those
don't.
movies.
You guys are so wrong. It's embarrassing. Oh my God.
All right, are there any final thoughts that anyone wanted to, something we
Watch
didn't touch
License to Drive. It's a great movie.
It's not that good.
It is. It's so good.
I don't think it's that
on?
good.
No, I mean,
but-
specifically perhaps about Borat's subsequent movies.
Oh,
Anything we didn't touch on?
We're trying to mention the
Worth watching.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I'd say go ahead and watch it. If anything, I want to support.
I want to know if anybody listening has any
Sacha
thoughts
Baron
on the
Cohen. I think is such a great. He's a great artist, really, a comedic artist.
You should
I
go
think
watch-
I just want to support him, whatever he does.
You should go watch Bruno. That is a. I think out of his movies, that's the best one. Bruno.
Hell no. Borat.
What are other people's
Well, I actually
reactions
think
to the Giuliani
show,
scene?
I think Dolly G show is the best of all of those things. Actually,
Well, yeah.
You want to know
Does
what people
anybody?
thought of it?
I was curious to see if we had any responses from people about the Rudy Giuliani scene. What
Yeah,
people
if you
thought
watched the
about
movie, let us know what you thought. Did you find it shocking, or was it kind of a letdown, or what did you?
Did
how
he
you
cross a
feel?
line? Did he do anything? Yeah, that you were surprised by.
And in the meantime,
just by the way, the full title of the original Borat is Borat: Cultural Learnings of America for Make Benefit Glorious Nation of Kazakhstan.
right? Yeah, this one also has kind of these alternate titles that pop up throughout the movie.
That's right.
As his goal changes.
He keeps. Yeah, exactly. I thought that's kind of funny in a way.
That was funny. Yeah, I like that.
I think it's kind of a funny little thing. But.
Yeah. Nicole Kyle says, I thought it was shocking, and she was the same person who didn't know that it was coming, too.
Right.
Uh-huh.
Interesting.
Tori Young says he crossed the line going into the bedroom with her in the first place, in my opinion. And I guess,
Well, wait,
Well-
but she invited him in, and
Well, no, let's just
well,
keep it at that, Laura. Let's just keep it
Leave it at
at
that.
that.
Leave it at
Let's
that.
leave it at that.
Wait, Laura,
We
what are you
leave it at
talking
that?
about?
Let's leave it at that.
Wait,
Leave
why
it
do you
at
have to?
that.
Why do you have to leave it at that?
Because you gotta leave it at
Because
that.
leave it
You
at
gotta
that.
leave it at that.
Leave it at that.
Leave it at that.
Nicole,
You know what? He
Yeah,
did
why?
cross a line.
Nicole Kyle says, but now I'm
Maybe-
not so
maybe he
sure
did
based
cross
on
the
what
line,
you said,
yeah.
Laura. Maybe the
Oh,
scene was
okay.
He
manipulative.
did cross the line. Yeah, I guess he
Well,
did.
it's not manipulative. Look, I'm gonna leave it at that. No, you know what? I think Rudy Giuliani. He's a slimy dude.
Of
There's no doubt.
course. Who doesn't
all
agree
slimy.
with that?
That whole administration is slimy. You know,
Yeah.
Well, actually, just
not just the
I
administration.
wouldn't
but
trust
the
my. I
Republican
wouldn't.
Party-
I wouldn't even trust my 30-something-year-old daughter in a room
Republican
with him.
Party.
Let me
The
say.
the Republican Party is pretty slimy. I mean, Mitch McConnell is like
Oh my God.
the evil
What
mastermind
do you guys
in a
think
movie,
about
you
his
know?
sickness that he has? That his.
Well, I was
Have you
reading
noticed
about it.
his? Have you seen
I-
the bruises?
I looked at it, but apparently
Bruised hand,
it's not.
bruised lip.
It doesn't have anything to do with anything that's affecting his health, really. It's just
It might.
some
No.
skin condition, you know.
No, it could be
I
many
just
things.
think
Could be
he's
many
the
things.
worst person
maybe.
alive. Maybe.
Mitch McConnell.
Yeah,
Really?
he's really bad. He's a really bad person.
Yeah.
Talk about it. Say more.
He just finds every little way to be corrupt and doesn't care really about what it means for the people. He just wants to get his own personal interests through, you know? And
Sure.
it really seems like he doesn't care about the people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, you guys. I think it's about time that we wrap up this fun episode that we've had on Borat.
Thanks to those who chimed in and let us know their opinions, like Nicole Kai and Tori Young.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
Nicole Kyle, Laura.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm
Kyle.
sorry, Nicole Kyle. That's what I meant.
Hey,
Can I
Nicole
say
Kyle. By the
something?
way, she's like #1 fan. Thanks for always tuning in. Nicole
I know.
Kyle.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Can I say one thing?
Yeah.
Our band, we have a band called Little Person, and we've been recording
yeah.
new songs during this quarantine, and we're on our way toward finishing those. So look out for some new Little Person tracks in the new year.
Yeah. Anything else that you guys wanted to plug real quick? Laura, I'm sure you got some plugs.
Just check out the new Slave video. It's out by Foxtails Brigade, and the new track is on Spotify. If you like the song, please share it and download it from Spotify or save it on Spotify. It helps us a lot for you guys to do that. So yeah, if you want to
Also,
listen to the
you know-
song for free, go to Spotify. That's the place we recommend.
Also, there's some other Foxtails Brigade. Keep tuning in to Foxtails Brigade stuff because they're coming out with some other songs.
We're going to be
one
releasing.
of which I think is like really good.
Thank you. Yeah, a new song a month. That's our new format.
I mean, they're all good. I'm just saying, like one was my favorite, though. You know, is what I'm trying to
Okay.
say.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah.
I'll ask you
Foxtails Brigade
offline what that is.
Just
'cause,
started new releases every month. The first one that came out is Slave. It came out this past Tuesday. A month from now, it will be another song, another brand new song you guys haven't heard yet. So
My plug is go vote. Again, I know I
And
said it at
go
the top
vote.
of the. I know I said it at the top of the
meaning
show.
vote for Foxtails Brigade 2021.
No,
Best
you
band
know,
of the year.
vote for Biden.
Yes, vote for Biden.
Vote for Biden.
This is
And
going to be our
don't-
last show
We-
before the
also,
election.
don't.
Oh my
too, so-
God.
You
Oh
know.
God, it's
But
really
we probably
kind
won't
of
know who wins for a while, right?
We
Why?
might know by the time we do our next episode. I mean, I should hope
Think
so.
so? I don't know.
It'll be
They
a
like
week
I just
after.
hear people talking about how
Right.
it could take weeks or maybe even months to like.
I think we're
Tally
going to have a
everything
pretty
out.
good.
I hope it's a
Honestly,
big landslide where Biden wins by.
I
a
hope
big
so
margin.
too, of course, but
I think we will have a pretty good idea of who the next president is a week later. I don't think this is really going to go on for months. But then again, this is a year of
I don't
not
know.
knowing what's going to happen. So
Right. I
Did
was
you
reading
guys hear
I was reading
about-
an article in a Forbes article. It was quoting an Atlantic article. I mean, please do go vote for Biden, but I mean, just plans that the Trump administration is making to try and get around that through the Electoral College and not trying to make it so the Electoral College doesn't follow what the voters go by. Anyway, it's
and
kind
did
of
you hear about
pretty
in the
terrible, you know.
swing states that there was Democrats, undevoted Democrats who were getting death threat calls from people saying
terrible.
they have their phone number, they have their address, and if they vote for Biden that they're gonna like kill them and stuff like that.
Well, where did you
That's
hear that?
happening. Can you imagine?
Where did you hear that though from?
It's a news story.
From what source?
Fakenews.org. No, I'm kidding. No, it's true. I swear. It's real. Okay, I heard it from a very reliable source. I cannot tell you my sources, but I'm telling you, it is happening. Look it up.
Makes it seem more unreliable.
No, I swear. Look it up, guys. Look it up. Look it up. This is a big story right now.
She can't leak her sources, you guys. She gets this information.
Story.
She can't reveal it, but she's
no,
got
seriously,
a big piece
Democrats
of the New York
are getting
Times.
threatened. They're getting threatened. Okay, it's a thing.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Look, I mean, yeah, that is fucked up if it is happening. But even if it's not, this is an important election, so get out there and vote.
Right.
I think that's going to be
very important.
I think that's just.
And your
it.
vote is confidential. Your vote is confidential, so do not worry about whatever. Don't be threatened. Vote for life. Vote to save the planet.
Yeah, vote for
Vote to save the Mother Earth. Vote for your children.
Again, Totally Tell Me, we are on YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook for our live show. These episodes then go up on all podcast apps. So however you want to listen or watch, we appreciate. Try to tune in for the live episodes if you can. They're every 2 Sundays at 7 p.m. Our next episode is going to be November 8th at 7 p.m. with Kendra McKinley, who is a great artist friend of ours, musician friend of ours. She's been on the show before.
She is really great.
Yeah, I love her. She's been on the show before, and she's back, and we're really excited to have her. So tune in for that.
What movie are you going to be doing?
We are likely doing Kajillionaire, which is the new Miranda July film. But I guess that's actually a good segue to let everybody know, too, that I announced these movies ahead of time on Instagram. That's kind of just the easiest way for me to do it. So if you want to know what the next movie is, check out our Instagram. Usually a week before, I'll post on there for sure what the movie is, so you could, if you want, watch it ahead of time. But I would say very likely we will be watching Kajillionaire by Miranda July, which you can find on Amazon Prime. So with that, thanks again to our guests this week, Max and Nicky. Thanks for being on the show, you guys. Great to have you back.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, we'd love to get you back on here again soon. Thanks again.
Hopefully, in person,
That would be
Yeah.
That would be nice. That would be
if that's
nice.
gonna
Might
happen
be a
for me.
while. Thanks, Laura, again for co-hosting with me. And
Thank you.
we will be back in 2 weeks with another episode of Totally Tell Me. Bye.